Hello everyone, I'm CJ Wellerman. Now let's get into it. Nearly 2 billion Muslims across the world have embarked on Ramadan, the ninth and holiest month of the Islamic calendar, to commemorate the revelation of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad in the year 610. So, during the next 7 minutes, I will explain how Ramadan makes Islam the world's most beautiful religion, and the fastest growing religious faith in the world today. Now, whenever I explain Ramadan to non-Muslim friends, they typically see the Islamic month as a needless and outdated test of faith, because they perceive fasting for a full 30 days to be a self-sacrificial ritual in servitude to an overbearing God. But they couldn't be more wrong. You see, Islam's beauty is often hidden from the gaze of the non-Muslim onlooker. And I say that as a non-Muslim who was once blind to the inner workings of the faith, seeing only the surface-level superficialities presented by the Western media. But when you come to see Islam like an orange, then you will see the majesty that sits within.
And Islam is like an orange. There's an outer part and an inner part. If someone only got the rules and rituals, they might think Islam is tough and bitter, like the outside of an orange. But there's an inside, a juicy flesh, the divine intimacy, the spiritual experience. The rind, without the flesh, is bitter and useless. The flesh without the rind would quickly rot. The outer Sharia protects the inner spirituality, and the inner spirituality gives the outer Sharia its purpose and meaning.
When I explain to non-Muslims that Ramadan proves Islam to be the world's most spiritually, emotionally, and physically fulfilling religion, I start by explaining how Ramadan commemorates the starting point of Islam, and how that starting point begins with the Arabic word for reed, which was the very first word revealed by the Archangel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad. In other words, the Quran begins with the insistence of attaining knowledge of self and the world around us, a task that can only be accomplished through self-reflection and contemplation. But before we go on, we kindly ask you please support our effort to counter injustices in the Muslim world by supporting the CJ Wellerman Show at patreon.com/CJ Wellerman. You'll be helping me counter misconceptions about Islam to a broader audience. Thank you. Now back to our show. When Muslims are fasting during Ramadan and abstaining from drinking, eating, smoking, and sexual relations from sunrise to sunset, they are in perfect position to self-reflect and focus inwardly, helping them become better attuned to themselves and their surrounds.
And one of the ways that we come to appreciate Allah is through science, is through knowledge, is through learning, is through the knowledge of the material world, knowledge of the esoteric world, knowledge of the inward aspects of our life, knowledge of the physical environments that surround us, knowledge of the things that are beyond us.
In fact, non-Muslims are often surprised to learn that the second most mentioned word in the Quran after Allah is the Arabic word for knowledge, ilm, which deals with instructions related to knowing, intellect, reasoning, thinking, and meditating. You see, the Quran considers meditation or contemplation to be an act of worship because it leads Muslims to improve their character and perform good deeds. The Prophet said contemplation is beneficial because it stops us from acting in haste and making bad decisions. He also considered self-reflection so important that he said 1 hour of contemplation is better than 70 years of worship. Now, even if you're a non-Muslim like me, you can't not be impressed by the Prophet's profound wisdom on matters relating to mind, body, and soul. He said stay away from pork and alcohol centuries before science discovered bacon and booze are bad for our health. And he also encouraged contemplation and meditation 1300 years before science discovered its physical benefits.
Science has contributed to our understanding of the effects of meditation on the brain and body.
The research that we've done on meditation in the brain has focused on 2 major domains that meditation actually affects. One is attention, and the other is emotion. And what we have discovered is that the circuits in the brain that are important for regulating both attention and emotion can be transformed by meditation.
And now, centuries after the Prophet encouraged fasting, science has revealed the physiological benefits of prolonged abstinence from food. In fact, doctors are now describing fasting to be the equivalent of giving your vital organs a much-needed vacation, because it has been shown to increase your longevity, balance your insulin levels, and reduce inflammation and tumor growth. It is also shown to increase brain health and memory.
These amazing benefits. Let's start with number one. You actually regrow your brain cells. Not the entire brain, but very specific parts of the brain, including the hippocampus, parts of the brainstem, and other parts as well.
Fasting also teaches Muslims patience, perseverance, and gratitude. But Ramadan is so much more than just self-deprivation. It's also about prayer and reconnecting with family, friends, and community. Because once the month of fasting is complete, there are 3 days of celebration known as Eid al-Fitr.
We're very blessed to just get together and be able to pray again and see each other and eat together and celebrate Eid together.
If you're a non-Muslim, then imagine Christmas Day dinner, but only way better. Because not only does Eid run for 72 hours, but also is enjoyed with a sense of collective accomplishment. You know, the harder you have to work for something, the more enjoyable and satisfying the reward. And as Muslims often say, yes, Ramadan fasting is a test, but the peace you get is beautiful. Finally, Ramadan is also about charity, because Islamic scripture calls upon Muslims to take care of the poor and vulnerable members of the community during the holy month, which is why during the next 4 weeks you will see Muslim groups distributing food packages to the homeless.
Faith Social Services employs everybody and serves everybody, but we are driven by Islamic principles. So due to that, we like to let the greater community here in America know that when we fast, it's not just about us, it's actually about giving to everybody around us.
You'll also see remarkable acts of kindness from Muslims to strangers like this.
Hi guys, do you mind if I pay for you, please?
Why?
Because you know it's a month of Ramadan and like we are fasting, like Muslims are fasting around the world. So this month is all about giving back. You know, so since we cannot eat, so we would like to pay for you. It will really make my day. And I'm doing it as a goodwill gesture. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is Ramadan. This is Islam. Visit your local mosque if you want to know more. I promise you will be welcomed with open arms. Anyway, that's my time for today. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we kindly ask you please support this endeavor by becoming a member of this show at patreon.com/CJWellerman. We can't produce, sustain and grow this show without your help, and we offer exclusive benefits to those who do. But for now, good night, good morning, wherever you are, and stay blessed.